What's up guys, in this video I will teach you how to use the .h files and how to use Doxygen and how to use the Makefile. So first of all, here what we have is three files. In the b.c file we have a main function in which we use this function, but if you check this file you can see that this function, the function say hi to, is nowhere defined here, like it's not here. But if we go to the a.c file, we see that it's here declared. So how are we able to use this function that is declared in another file? For that, we have the .h files. Here in the .h files, we have the prototypes of the functions. So if we go back to the a.c file, we see that in the .c file, we define the behavior of the function, but in the .h file, we just mention the function. Also, you can see here that I have two functions created. One, which is this function that doesn't do anything, and this one. You can also check that in the a.h file, I don't have the second one defined. This means that this second one is private, and it can only be used in the a.c file. So this function is not mentioned here, and it can only be used by, for example, this function. If here I use this function, it will be used and it will be helpful. So these are called private functions because it only works here in the a.c file. So yeah, another thing is that how do we execute the main in the b.c? So for that we have to compile all the programs. So first of all, in order to compile one by one, we have to use gcc -c, and now we compile the .c files. So first of all, we have to compile the a.c, no problems, everything is perfect, and we have to compile the b.c. And yeah, we still don't have any problems. As you can see here, we have two objects generated, the b.o and the a.o. These are the objects of each one of the files. So now, in order to have an executable, we have to link them. Remember that here we have the main, so we have to link these two files in one, so we have a working file, a working executable. So in order to do that, we use gcc -o. Remember, C is to compile, -o is to link or to create an executable. We use, we say the name of the executable, which is going to be exe, and then we put the objects. So now everything is perfect, the executable has been created, and if we execute it, we see that it works perfectly. But now imagine that I want to change something here. Instead of Kevin, I want to put guys. Now we have a small problem, which is that if we want to check this again, we have to do all these. Like we have to execute all these commands. Like we would have to do this, then do this, and then do this, and then do this in order to just check a change. So for that, we have Makefiles. First of all, you have to install the command make. In order to do that, you just use sudo apt install make. With this, you will have installed make. But what is a Makefile? A Makefile is a file that makes this easier, that it does this in one command. So for example, I have already created a Makefile, and if I type make, you see, all these commands are executed. I have to use the exe, but the compile process has been done. And also I can remove the things. How does this work? So we have to create a file with this name, Makefile. You have to name it like this, Makefile. Once you have it like this, you have this set of rules. So for example, we have first the main rule, which is the all rule. So the all rule refers to when you put just make. When you put here just make, it will say, okay, I have to clean. It will go to the definition of the rule in which you just execute this command, and then I have to do the executable. It will go to the definition of the executable, and the computer will say, hey, I have here some dependencies. This means that before doing this, I have to do this and this. So the computer goes here and says, okay, I will go here and do this rule, and now I will go here and do this rule. So that's what the computer is doing whenever we execute make. So for example, if I put here again make, you see first this command, which is the clean. It executes first clean and then executable. Executable is made of first a.o. It executes a.c. Well, it compiles a.c and then it compiles b.c, and finally it executes this. So for example, we could add a rule which is execute, and in order to add it is so simple, like we just have to put here execute and exe, and it will perfectly work. So now if I do make, you see that received tile fail error 9. I don't know why this gave an error, but it's working perfectly. I think it's because this function doesn't return anything. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so the problem was that I made the function void and it wasn't returning anything, and the Makefile needs something to get in order to check that everything is working. But yeah, like now I change it and now it returns a 0 and it works perfectly. So yeah, these are the .h, the Makefile, and these things. But we need to talk also about the Doxygen. Doxygen is a tool which helps us to understand someone else's code. So for example, here the code is very, very small and it is not really useful. But when you have big projects, you really need that. So for example, let me check that this is the... Yeah, you have to install this one, Doxygen documentation generation, in which, for example, here you have an example. You put this, you press enter, and yeah, all the comments are shown. So let's try it. For example, if I go here and I go to the A here, yeah, for example here, I just type this, enter, and you see that brief. You put a brief of the function, like you say what the function does, param, and you say what this variable is doing. But let's check one big project that I had. So yeah, this was one of the projects that I had to do in the university, and you see that there are a lot of files. So for example, if we go to blog.c, here I have defined what the file is doing. All this is in Spanish, but you see, like here, these are the functions. Like in the .c, we have the defined functions, and if we go to the .h, we have the structures and all this, but also the comments, and we say what we do in each function. So yeah, if I'm not wrong, the main function was here. I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was here. Yeah, look, like this file was so big. So for example, we have here the main function, and you see, in order to compile all this, we have the Makefile, and in the Makefile we have all these rules, and then like we just simply type whatever and it works. So yeah, for example, if I try to use the terminal, I think that I don't have everything installed, so it won't work, but let's try. If I put make, yeah, everything is made, like everything is compiled and it's linked. And let me check, for example, if I type here make value in, another thing that I didn't told you is that you can specify the rule that you want to use. For example, here I just want to use this rule, so I put make and the rule. If for example I just want to clean, like I just want to remove everything, I put make clean and it removes everything. Yeah, it just executes this. But let's try here make again and make val green. And yeah, something was wrong because I don't know, invalid frame. Well, it worked. Trust me, the project worked. So yeah, that was everything. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you understood what the Makefile is, how to use it, what the .h are. Like, yeah, you can see here that we have plenty of .h. And yeah, I hope you understood it, that you like it, and if so, give it a like, subscribe, share it, and see you in the next one. Don't forget to go and check my website in which I talk about trading and cryptocurrencies and all that stuff for a very cheap price.
Damn, Sosa. You going crazy.
Rest in peace, Black Cat, tranquilos y 666. Estoy bajando todo, lo siento. Te quedas en no. Rest in peace,